Hello, my name is Chris Beisch. I'm a retired professor of religious studies and an author. The passion of my professional life has been the study of psychedelics. When psychedelics are used in a responsible and critical manner, they give us insights not only into our private lives, but into the deep structure of the universe itself. I have come to understand that my personal belief in the visionary experiences that were given to me in the sessions were showing that humanity is coming to a decisive moment in its evolutionary journey. We were coming into a time of critical challenge and a time requiring maximum effort and maximum clarity. We are literally, this is a time of labor. Gestation is long. The period of gestation is a long time, but the time of labor is short and intense and convulsive. We have been preparing for this time in history for thousands and thousands of years through reincarnation, reincarnation, reincarnation. But now we have entered into a time, I think, in which we are giving birth to the future human. We are giving birth to a different kind of human being. And I think we are giving birth to the diamond soul.
Everything now is depending on our awareness and awakening. Humanity is at a crossroads. Either we awake individually and collectively, or we will go into a kind of a worldwide dictatorship. I think it's very timely that we look at the Fuji Declaration again, and as I said in the beginning, that we get reminded that we have to awaken, that we want to awake the light within ourselves. And this is an individual procedure, but we can support each other, inspire each other, and help each other on the way of awakening.
Hi, my name is Lynn McTaggart. I'm author of books like The Field, The Intention Experiment, and my latest book, The Power of Eight. I began connecting to Source really by accident. I am by trade an investigative reporter, and I got very interested in the new science a few decades ago when trying to find out why something like spiritual healing works. Why you can have a thought, send it to someone else, and make them better. The power of eight. And that's how it started. When we first did it in Chicago in 2008, we expected it to have a very mild effect, like having your shoulders massaged. That's not what happened. After we put these people in groups, we had them choose a member of the group as the target. They did their intention. And then they all went away and came back the next day. The following day, each person who had received intention had a major story to tell. People who were suffering from depression found that depression lifted. Somebody who had terrible knee arthritis and was not walking normally, was limping with a lot of pain, was suddenly pain-free and walking normally. A woman with cataracts said she was 80% better. And so it went on and on and on. I was witness to an extraordinary divine spark right then and there, shocked that we had this power within us. Now, being a journalist, I didn't really believe this. I thought it might be a placebo effect until I started doing it in over and over and over again in workshops and in the big experiments. Then I found not only were people having extraordinary healings, but the people sending the intention were also being healed. That there was something in collecting as a group, a small group, and sending out a collective prayer, if you would, that ignites an amazing, amazing power within us.
So how do we connect with the divine spark, or how do I connect with the divine spark? We don't have to do anything or go anywhere to connect with it, because it is us. It is what we already are. It is the very nature of our own being. Our own consciousness is the divine spark in us. So rather than trying to get somewhere or find something, what we should be doing is removing whatever it is that blocks the presence of our own being. And our own being is what we know as I am. It's interesting, you take the verb to be, I am, you are, it is. I am is the first person experience of being. So that I am that we all know, that is the divine spark. And it's something which is always there. We may not always notice it, it's always there. It's never changing. It's that same sense of being I had when I was, last year, 10 years ago, 5 years old. That sense of I-ness that never, never changes. That's, for me, the divine spark. And it's the same for every one of us.
Hello, I'm Gary Zukov.
And I'm Linda Francis.
And we're here to share some thoughts and experiences about the source of wonder. For us, everything is a source of wonder. And we want to share with you some of the ways that we have experienced our divine spark, what it is, what it feels like to us, and how we've come to love it and share it.
I had an experience of the divine spark coming alive in me, but it didn't happen by having this really loving experience to begin with. It actually happened because I had a very painful experience. And that painful experience, I felt like I was being betrayed and violated. That was what the parts of me felt. But I knew that I'd had that happen earlier in my life, and I knew that I didn't want to do what I had done before. So this time, I used it as an opportunity to learn about myself. Something began to happen. And I started feeling something very, I can maybe describe it as warm inside of me. And I didn't know until later that I felt this divine spark was being ignited. It was very small, but I really felt it, and I knew something very big had happened. And I was so excited. And then and how I knew that it was the divine spark and how I knew that I had changed is because I saw that I really loved myself.
Well, I'm discovering that divine spark is there. It's in everyone. It's in me. Whether I see it or not, whether I know it or not, whether I even believe in it or not, I am the divine spark. But what I'm talking about when I say divine spark, as I understand it from Masami and Hiru and Irvin, is a recognition of something more than the five senses can provide. A recognition that I am more than a body and a mind. And actual experience of that. Actual experience of creativity that isn't limited to my intellect and isn't limited to my experience. I realize that it's not possible to be alone. It's not possible for anyone to be alone. And therefore, it's not possible to create alone. So all creation is co-creation. It's creation with you and your non-physical guides and teachers. The ancient Greeks called these the muses, but now we're becoming multi-sensory. We're in a great period of consciousness transformation, and we're beginning to see far beyond, in addition to the five senses. And we see that our divine spark when it comes to creativity is co-creativity.